Hello everyone, and welcome to a new episode of the UIM Completionist! You've seen the title, you've seen the thumbnail, you know what we're doing today. I don't. Whatever future me put there is coming, but first... This is 216 master clues that I have to juggle every hour, and I need to take care of them first, so I'm gonna do that, and I hope you'll enjoy. Fast forward 3 weeks and I'm about halfway done with the masters, which is honestly great news because all the constant juggling was burning me out big time. A little less great news is all of those clues in front of me are wilderness steps, so that's gonna suck for a while. Anyway, during all that time I've also been playing on my free-to-play UIM on the side, and I got enough gems to get a crafting level. Here is 91 crafting. And here is 30,000 Calquats, another small step towards a 100k white stack one day. I usually try to give my videos some structure, like a logical progression from setting a goal to achieving that goal, but this time the breaks between recordings are so long that it's just gonna be a collection of clips for now until I'm done with all these master clues. But to make up for it, I do have a pretty cool clip for you right now. As soon as I get it, this should be 150 million range XP on the free-to-play UIM. And to celebrate, I will go outside now. We have a new boss in free-to-play, Brutus, and Brutus drops an item that's a collection log slot, which means my free-to-play collection log is no longer complete and I really want it back. Alright, I took care of the bull, Mesmer's burden completed. As a reward for the quest, we get the Cowbell Amulet, which teleports you to the Lumbridge Cowfield, a 1000 combat XP lamp, which of course went into prayer, and access to Brutus as a repeatable boss. And Brutus has a few things going for him, but for my goals on the free-to-play UIM, he's pretty underwhelming. The main unique he drops in free-to-play is the Muleta, which is the item I want for the collection log slot. But apart from it being a collection log, it's not really too useful for me. It has a +1 strength bonus, but it doesn't give me a max hit since I have the Castle Wars boots, and anytime I'm milling I would want a rune kite shield anyway, so I only want it for the log and then I'm done. Since Brutus is such an early game boss, the other items he drops aren't too useful for me either. The notable ones are trace amounts of chaos runes, the new T-bone stakes, which give a little bit of cooking XP, and the main interesting drop are the bull bones, which give 40 prayer XP. Now, that's quite good for free-to-play standards. If you grind Brutus efficiently, it's like 6k prayer XP per hour, which I believe makes it the best non-wieldy prayer training method. But you also end up getting no loot whatsoever, so for me, it's not worth it. It's a little bit tempting to camp Brutus just for the combat XP so I can finish 200 mil ranging faster, because Brutus has a 100% combat XP multiplier, so for every point of damage you deal you get double the XP, but I like loot way too much to do that. There are some sickos though who camp Brutus just for the combat XP and they are catching up to me on the range high scores. You know who you are. You're gonna make me do overtime at the Ogre's Cave just to keep up. Despicable. And there is the Muleta. Nice. 91 out of 91 free-to-play collection log completed once again. And I'm done with Brutus. I completely forgot to mention that Brutus is also very good for beginner clues, which once again doesn't align with my goals right now since I don't do clues at the moment. So he is decent for a few things, but there is one thing that Brutus is absolutely the best for, and that is killing yourself. Due to his location, dying to Brutus is the most convenient way to death pile. He kills you fast, you just respawn in Lumbridge, pick up whatever you want to bring to Wieldy plus the Cowbell Amulet, and when you want to return, you just click the amulet and you're back here. So yes, we are going to Wieldy. There was a recent update that let everyone store axes at the Canoe stations, and that includes free-to-play. So I'm gonna make myself a rune axe and store it there permanently. Pretty big upgrade for free-to-play UIMs. It's the second ever storage we got. At first we couldn't store anything, then coins at the LMS coffer, and now this. And now that I have the rune axe, I can deposit and withdraw it at any Canoe station I want, so I can store it at Ferox Enclave, for example, and pick it up at Landbridge, and it just magically appears here. I guess they just canoe it to you. Alright, so that was a nice break. Now back to my home at the Ogress Cave for the remaining 50 million range XP. Okay, this took very long, especially since I took an extra long break to focus on Guild Wars for a bit. There was a lot going on there. But I am now done with all the masters. Kinda. Not really. Not at all, actually. I still have some left, but the steps require some new items that I don't have. As the labels indicate, this pile requires a rosewood blowpipe, and this pile requires dragon kill parts, so let's get them both. To make a rosewood blowpipe, you need 2 rosewood logs and a squid beak, which you can get from squids that are caught using lantern harpooning, which is what I'm doing right now. And lantern harpooning is a 6-tick fishing action by default, which gives me plenty of time to talk about what else I want to do in this video. So the grand overarching plan for my account is I want to do some PVM. I haven't done any in a long while, and it would be cool to get some items to push the account forward and of course to get some clogs. The issue is, I don't really have many potions. I'm low on super combats and prayer potions. I could use some more brews, and I also want to make anti-fires because I plan to fight a bunch of dragons. So before I'm PVM ready, I want to do a big herblore grind and process all my supplies into potions. But since I'm doing that, I might as well do some mixology for the goading potions and for the clog. So I will want to process all my herbs, and if I'm processing all my herbs, well, might as well plant all my seeds. And if I'm doing herb runs for a long time, sticking my dipper in the dirty, I need something to do between the herb runs, so I will be doing hunter rumors for even more herbs. And a clog, of course. So that's where we stand right now. In this video, I want to definitely, for the last time, prepare to do a big farming plus hunter rumors grind, and as soon as I'm done with these remaining masters, that's exactly what I'm doing. Oh nice, here's the squid beak. That didn't take long. So let's assemble the rosewood blowpipe, fill it up with some darts because you can't store it empty. Let's build the stash and fill it. And fill it without the pin this time, and that is once again all of the stashes re-completed on the UIM. So that is one of the 2 master clue steps unlocked. Next stop, Frost Dragons. The easiest way to get dragon kill parts, I think, is to smith together 2 dragon metal sheets, and the easiest way to get dragon metal sheets is from Frost Dragons. The drop rate is 1 out of 200, but it jumps up to 1 out of 55 if you're on a Slayer task, so I gave myself a 10 skip limit to try and get a Frost Dragon task, and I got it! So this should be a pretty quick grind, all things considered. Nice, here's the first one. This is my second Slayer task, by the way. I wasn't lucky during the first one. And this one is close to being done as well. And there's the second one. Sweet, no boosted drop rate for this one, but man, I'll take it. You can just weld together 2 dragon metal sheets by hitting them with a hammer, but it can't be at any old anvil. No. It has to be at the Dragon Forge, which is a really cool choice because this place looks absolutely sick, so let's make our dragon kill parts. And now, since this item is a follow requirement and I wanna be able to do master clues, I'm gonna carry it with me forever! Permanent -1 looting bag slot. At least I can do the step now, unlike that damn stupid Armadillo helm request. I lost 17 master clues to that during this grind alone. Do you see that? There's nothing. No more clues to do. After a year and a half, there are no more clues to do. I am done. No more timer in the upper left corner of my client counting down to the next juggle. I am done. This clue is the 3rd best triple stepper that I found. I mistakenly combined my previous 2. And I want to keep that, so I won't be doing that, and that means I really am done with clues for now. So let's go prepare for the hunter rumors and farming grind finally. The first item I'm going for is the pristine spider silk, which is a 1 out of 50 drop from Sarachnis. You can use it to upgrade the herb sack to increase its capacity to 100 of each herb, and I will be using the herb sack for both farm runs and for herbivore, so more space will be very useful. I always liked doing mid-level bosses, and gotta say, doing Sarachnis, even in my scaffed gear, pretty chill. I can't wait to come back here with Arenia boots one day. Oh, this is not the spider silk. This is a Sarachnis cudgel. Yes, there it is. Pristine spider silk. I went a little bit over the rate for this, but doing Sarachnis was pretty fun. So let's add this to this, and now we have the silk-lined herb sack. And it looks kinda like a white looting bag, which is to say, very sick. Continuing on with our prep, since I'm gonna be farming herbs and snapegrass and limpwort roots and doing birdhouse runs and picking up kalquats, what's adding one more thing to that rotation? I also want to farm corals. The thing is, I'm not sure if I will be able to fit them in, because I suspect my inventory will be very, very tight during that whole grind. But tight is what I sometimes enjoy, so worst come to worst, I can just drop them and not commit to farming them. To farm coral, you need coral frags, which is a fancy way of saying kills. I learned that from playing shooters. And I specifically want umbral frags, because the potions you make from them give the most XP. And the wiki told me that a good way of getting umbral frags is from this chest on Innsdale, so I'm gonna spend some time here and hopefully get a nice stock of those. But first, here's the rowboat build, so I can return here easily. Gotta stay on top of those kalquats. This game and its Easter eggs, man. You might think this is just a regular item, but it's actually a sneaky reference to the YouTuber Fuse. Alright, this amount of frags should be enough, and if I somehow end up going through all of these, I can always just come back here later. And the final stop for me, and I predict it's gonna be a pretty long stop unfortunately, is Master Farmers. Specifically Martin, since he just stands still after I talk to him so I can freely explore his pockets. I need potato seeds for birdhouse runs, snapegrass seeds, and limpwort seeds. A lot of limpwort seeds, so I suspect I will be here for a while, and me and Martin will get very well acquainted. And of course, any other seed he gives me will be very appreciated. Alright, did you have fun the last 2 weeks? Because I spent my last 2 weeks here with Martin on our little honeymoon. Our homey moon. Speaking of, it's June already. Happy Pride, everyone! So here's everything that I got in those 2 weeks. First of all, 131,000 potato seeds, 10 for each of my magic logs for birdhouse runs. This was the stack that I finished the last, so for the past couple of days I was mostly pickpocketing Martin just for potato seeds. Then 3,500 limpwort seeds. This should be enough for all the quorums that I will have. A bunch of Harlander seeds. I don't plan to plant those, but if I'm dangerously low on mox paste, I might. And then of course 1,700 kalquat fruit. And I also got a bunch of other seeds that I stored in my seed box. So on the left, all the seeds that I had before, and on the right, all the seeds that I have now. A pretty good haul, all things considered, but I'm terrified of the thought of planting all of that right now. So that is the main prep essentially done, but before I go any further, there are still a couple more things I wanted to do, like I wanted to buy 1000 plant cure, for example. I won't have space for the resurrect crop spell, so maybe I'll be able to save some plants that way. That's all done now, 1000 plant cures. I wanted to stock up on those for the longest time now. I think I had it in the back of my head for like months at this point. And it only took like a minute to buy them from Rosie, and now I'm good, so very nice. Next up, I decided that I will be dropping my stamina potions. I kept them in my looting bag ever since I got 99 herblore in 2021, with the thought that I will one day use them for this very grind. Well, back then the idea was herbivore and not hunter rumors, but same thing. And now almost 5 years later, when I'm finally doing the grind, I don't have space for them, so goodbye. And I'm also dropping the Ring of Endurance. At first I wanted to keep it just for the passive run energy bonus, but then I realized I need the Explorer's Ring to teleport to the Falador herb patch, so my ring slot is already taken. In a recent change, we can now store unlimited amounts of cannonballs in our cargo holds. Well, the change was in February, but that's still recent for me, okay? Desert Treasure 2 is recent for me too, and that was 3 years ago and I still haven't done it. Anyway, I have a lot of steel cannonballs here, the good ones that can be used with the Dwarven Cannon, so I really hope I don't just teleport out of my boat in the middle of the ocean and lose them, but I also kinda need every single inventory spot I can get, so that's an easy +1 slot freed up. And the final little thing I wanted to do before I wrap it up is to plant my first corals. You can't compose them because, of course, the patch is underwater and the compost would just become a floater. And I'm also gonna do them without protection, without an Atas plant, and without resurrect crops. So we'll see if it's even worth it. If they keep dying on me and the yield is poor, I might just cut my losses and drop the frags. But on the other hand, very rough math says that if even 20% of the plants survive, I should be looking at 1 million Herblore XP I wouldn't otherwise get, so maybe it's gonna be worth it in the end, we'll see. And so I present the final outfit for the next few months. Graceful for running, Magic Secateurs for the yield bonus, Kamdozal Hammer for birdhouse runs, and Medallion of the Deep for corals. And as for the inventory, I'm gonna have 3 more slots taken up by the harvested corals, Chinchompas, and Hunter loot sacks once I get those. Initially, I also wanted to mine calcified rocks when I'm at work, but that would be 3 more inventory spaces. 1 for the pick, 1 for calcified moths, and 1 for the bone shards. And I'm just not sure if that's a good idea. I'm gonna sleep on it, and in the meantime, thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, hope you'll have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.